So now it's 9:45-ish, and we're going to be done by, depending on the time, maybe 11:15 or 11. Last time, Sister Gekchu helped us to ask questions. I mean, to become the moderator to ask questions. Today, Sister Gan, Professor Gan, is going to help us. She would rather looking at us, not you. I will leave it up to her where she want to look at asking questions. You want to look at them or me? Yes.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Okay. I'm a bit shy, so I'm going to look at you.
Okay.
Okay, I'll read the first question. How do I show mudita to myself? More specifically, the past version of me that I didn't value, and the version of me which I would like to be.
I think that part we did not discuss a lot. I think we discussed a little bit, but not a lot, because normally people are not jealous about oneself. We took it from envy, jealousy towards other people. Actually, mudita must come from oneself as a part of self-care. Now, you know, metta practice. When we discuss about metta practice, we first metta us. May I be well and happy. The reason is that self-care is very overlooked. There's an oversight about self-care. Maybe we are pressurized by the culture, assumptions, stereotypes. So we always think that we have to become people pleasers. Right? People pleasing is something happening to most of us in different ways. I want to please my mom, I want to please my father. It should be okay. I want to please my partner, I want to please my kids. More or less, there are things that we have to look at. Yes, there's no problem. But what about us? Are we really taking care of us in the best possible way? Sometimes when it becomes a pampering, and those people expect you to pamper them, and you are in trouble sometimes. Why are you not pampering me anymore? You have been doing it. You should have been done it to me now. You're not doing it for the last couple of months and years. You're not buying me presents, you're not buying me this and that, you're not bringing me to places, and you don't spend money on us, right? And the worst case scenario might be, I want to see how your pocket's going to be empty, to the extent that you pamper me. This kind of a very terrible situation happens because you created expectations for them. I mean, taking care of you, taking care of others have to be balanced out. So not one or the other, both have to work in tandem. So how to practice mudita? It is just like metta. So when you start your day, especially in this meditation, we started with other people, but you can bring yourself there. Am I really happy for myself? In the metta one, may I be well and happy. But here, can I be really happy for myself? I think this is the very question we should ask. This is why we become jealous about other people, right? If I'm not happy about myself in whatever the way, maybe I'm not very perfect, but there are a lot of things that I can appreciate about myself, my life, most of my aspects in life. So yes, as you posed the question, we have to start with that point. The reason why we did not discuss that part, normally we are not jealous about us, envious about us. So we went on that path. But that is a good way to start with. You can add that part too before you go to the loud ones. I mean, can I be happy for myself, or I should be able to happy for myself. But if you have messed up in your life, you won't be able to be happy for yourself. So I think self-care perspectives, are the ones that are in that. So yes, you need to do it. It's very important. You have a follow-up question?
right, Bhante? So if we start with mudita for ourselves, then we are shrinking back to the grasping of the sense of self. So just Bhante, this point, can Bhante please clarify? Because I thought it was a progression and also...
Not all the time. It is not all the time going as a sequence, as we said yesterday. Normally people think it's a sequence. Yes, in the first place, it can be a sequence. So the very first time you tap into these practices, it was a sequence. But now I think you know here and there the stuff. What is metta a little bit, what is karuna a little bit, what is mudita upekka. So when you know that, when you have practiced a little bit in whatever the ways, then mudita also should come first, or maybe they are working together. So every time when you think that other people are better than us, while accepting their happiness, I mean, you are happy for them, you can also think about your happiness. Your happiness may be coming from a self-interest, but mudita has to be practiced not as the third step after that. Anytime, whenever the conditions arise to practice mudita, it should start. So it shouldn't be the third part. Then you will be a little bit more jealous by when you go to mudita level, you know. Metta level, you were a little bit jealous, but you are not touching jealousy at that point. You're thinking to touch it by mudita level. Whenever the conditions arise to practice whatever the Brahma Viharas, that is the time to practice that specific Brahma Vihara. So it depends on the conditions, situations in our daily life. Say for instance, in the morning you hear something. One of your colleagues, friends have thrived in his or her life. Then you are going to practice metta early in the morning, but now this came up, right? You are thinking, now metta, maybe afternoon I think about that achievement. Then jealousy will have gone a little bit. So maybe a moment of mudita at that point, yeah. So it goes by the circumstances of those Brahma Viharas. Yeah.
Okay, the next question. There are 3 questions which are like this.
Later, yes. Yeah.
So I'm just going to read one because it's very similar. I have difficult feelings when I see colleagues in good position or getting promotion, knowing that they mistreat junior colleagues or embezzle funds or even engage in sexual misconduct with the students. While I can appreciate their hard work or abilities, seeing this other behavior creates complicated emotions in me. How does one navigate mudita in these circumstances? So there are 3 questions that are very similar like this. So I'm going to skip the other 2. Yeah.
So the person understands the good work that particular person has been doing on one side. Yeah. On the other hand, the person is engaging in some unethical activities, right? On top of that, the particular person who has been helping and which this person is reckoning is doing some unethical things too.
Yeah, and
sexual misconduct and all that. And also manipulating and all that.
Yeah, the
right?
other one is someone's success is at the exploitation of the others. How do we show rejoice for their success? I think very similar.
Can you repeat again? Someone?
They are successful because they exploited others.
So we can't approve, endorse someone's exploitations and become successful. This is not Buddhist friendly. Now, let me clarify this thing. Mudita has to be extended to someone who has gained things ethically, right? We cannot, let's say there is someone who has done money laundering and then become a very rich person. Now, maybe he might be your boss, she might be your boss. So should I be happy for that achievement? I don't think so. So what should I do? I don't need to think about it because there's nothing for me to think about that thing. So mudita always comes in towards people who have acquired that achievement through at least some, I don't think maybe everybody is ethically complete, at least through some ethical means. Because Buddha is clearly saying unethical money cannot be used for even giving dana in the Dakkhinaibanga Sutta. He talks about samma ajiva, right living. So then how how to think about happiness for someone who has gained things unethically. So what you can do, the first question says that the person has been doing some good things too. Yes, if the achievement was acquired through that good things, we can be happy for that person. But if it is unethical, if you can see really, not suspecting, not hypothetical thinking, then we cannot be creating mudita. We don't need to create any state of mind for those people. That's them, that's me. But still we have to do metta, right? You have to include everybody for metta. But for mudita, for those unethical earnings, should not be characterized as reasons for mudita. Because that means in a way we are accepting their such means of life, sexual misconduct, exploitations, bribery, manipulations. How many people are not happy with the actions? That they use those actions to achieve those goals. Let's say they have exploited the public funds, company funds, and they have created a lot of lobbying in the sense of behind the scene. And they have ganged up with other similar people, exploiting people gang up, sexual predators gang up with other sexual predators to manipulate. So are we supposed to be happy for these people? They gang up and then took over the whole business and thing. I think we don't need to have any state of mind for them, but we have still metta because you are humans, right? Otherwise, we will encourage in a way other future people to do the same thing, and you can rise to the top of the company, public bureaucracy and all that hierarchy. Yeah, so that means mudita has to be extended to true ethical achievement in this sense. I think that answers this question.
The next one. Will the joy from mudita be the same as that experience as piti sukhang that arises during meditation?
Jhanas, right?
Yeah, mudita, is it the same as piti?
That's a little bit different stage because jhanas, you know what is jhana? Jhana was not a Buddhist teaching initially. It was introduced by the Hindus, what you call samatha part. So Hindus said that when you prevent from all the sensual pleasures, then you are attaining 4 jhanas with 5 jhana components. Vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekangata. So then mudita involves a certain kind of appreciation for anybody's happiness. Maybe that happiness might be a sensual happiness, luxuries, other contemporary happiness types. I think someone who has been going to jhanas would not think about these kind of things. So I think it's a different layer of piti. It's a spiritual piti in a way on a different aspects. Mudita is a little bit different. It can be secular, it can be non-secular, mundane or not mundane. So I think it's piti. The Pali word piti is not a specific word. It has many meanings, right? It has many meanings. Like Dhamma, D-H-A-M-M-A. Dhamma has many meanings. So that is a different piti. And mudita is a different way of looking at happiness. Because when you go to mudita, you are not concerned about sensual pleasures. Now, piti, you are concerned. Because it says, vivicheva kame vivicha akusalehi patamajjana upasampajja vihirati. You have to remove all the 5 sensual pleasures, no akusala, then come here. But when we think about other people's happiness sometime, we have to look at how they enjoy their life, how they have been enjoying through that money. So we have to get into certain sensual understanding sometime. So a jhana person has to go to that level after overcoming that part. So 2 aspects of piti. Yeah. If you have any follow-up questions, please keep them and you can ask after she read all these questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Under the 8 precepts, why precept number 7 and precept number 8, they are considered as precept?
Why number 7 and number 8 are they considered, why are they considered as precepts? Okay, let me tell you. Now, when you go to the, let's go to the, maybe just to give you a good understanding. Yeah, here, right? First precept, second, third, fourth, fifth. These are universally accepted disciplines. Not even in Buddhism, more or less. Not killing, it is not even a precept, it's a criminal problem. Adinadana, not even a spiritual problem, it's a criminal problem. Sexual misconduct, it's a criminal problem. Musavada is a big problem, even in the court. Suramerya is a criminal problem, right? Then after that, the rest of the 3 precepts, they are considered as 3 precepts that discipline you during that time. They are not more serious than the previous 5. They are there to discipline you. So they are taken as precepts from another perspective. First 5, they must be practiced. The last 3, they are there just to discipline you. I mean, let's take this one, Vikala Bhojana. Now, what does it matter? Does it matter to us if anybody going to eat after 12 o'clock? Actually, it's not 12 o'clock nowadays. Now think about how to practice this. You take 8 precepts now, and you are going to board a flight for 16 hours. How do you know your time? You are going from here to maybe 14, 15 hours flight somewhere, North America. How do you know your time? You are in the, which sea are you in? So that's the thing. So this might be a bit confusing at that point. But I take it this way. Why we are eating all the time? Is compulsive eating happening to all of us? When you are home, go open the fridge, eat something, wanna eat something, snacks. I wanna go for this and that, kopitam and all that. Why is it? There's something wrong in our life. So at least today, we are trying to manage that urge. It's good. The less you eat, the healthier you are. Is it? It's a fact. It's not our thing. It's what the nutritionists are talking about nowadays. It's a big healthy discourse. Finally, they are doing a lot of research, 1,000 researchers. They are coming down to Buddhist assumption. Yes, this is what the Buddha said 2,500 years ago, even more than that. The less you eat, the happier and then healthier you are. Right? So that's what we understand here. It's not that, okay, we're going to monitor who is eating after 12. That's not going to work. Right? And then I think this should be a personal attribute. Minimizing compulsive eating. If somebody wants to eat, go for it. If you have a medical problem, go for it. Right? There's no problem for that. But at least this precept has to be taken from a modern perspective. Limit eating a lot of food time to time. I think what is happening is that we are not taking a good meal for our 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's why we try to eat a lot. It's not a balanced diet. When you are not eating well for one of the meals, then you're going to compensate that problem with many other bites, snacks. Right? This is a health problem, it's a mental problem, and longevity problem. So that's something I can suggest you for the 6th precept. Now, someone who asks here, why are these precepts? They are disciplinary stuff for our life. And then, 7th precept, Nachcha Gita Vadati Visuka Dasana Mala Gandha Vilepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanattana Veramani Sikkhapada. You can't even wear a watch today if I make it very strict today. Right? Yeah, that gentleman showing empty-handed, I mean. But how is this going to work? Nachcha Gita, dancing, singing. Are these problems? If somebody wants to dance, somebody wants to sing, that's a good thing. That person is happy. Actually, we can practice mudita for that person. Right? You may not be a professional singer. Maybe you are a bathroom singer. I'm happy for you. I mean, right? At least you sing in your bathroom. With the way other people might not like your singing. Right? Singing. And then music. Now music is a very interesting aspect. Music has been used by many creativists for Dhamma propagation, just like our Dato Dr. Victor V and many other people in today's world. Because music is the language of everybody, right? It's not about one person. So if that's one of the suggestions for Buddhist organizations, think about how to bring music to propagate Dhamma. Always giving Dhamma talks, it's okay, but not many people might be able to understand Dhamma in that way. Maybe sometimes when you hear some Dhamma talks, your problems will be more complicated sometime, right? It might be more complicated. I mean, we are respecting all the Sangha members who were talking, but what if the ripple effect is there? So then if we bring Dhamma into music, we can approach young people. We can approach everybody. We can approach even non-Buddhists. We can do that. But here, today, we are cutting it down. We are cutting it down. Can I spend my day without music? Right? Watching entertainment. This is a problem, right? We are watching one by one. If you go to any streaming site, think about how many videos we are watching a day. Right? Maybe more than 30, 40. Not even that, they know our habits, they are very psychological. They are saying, when you go tomorrow, you see similar videos on your streaming channel. Then they say autoplay, right? You watched yesterday. What did you watch? You watched something. Now we are asking you to watch thousands of videos. Go to internet 1 p.m. and you don't know that it's 8 p.m. at night. Still you have a lot of problems to cut off that habit. It's a problem. So watching entertainment is no problem. But how can I manage my watching entertainment? And today and yesterday we are doing it. It's good. I don't think it's bad. Addiction to watching entertainment is a problem we see among many people in today's world. You know, in your house, how difficult for you to bring people into the dining table, right? When you cook food, they are not there. You have to WhatsApp them, and the message goes to the US and then go to the room and come back to you again. Why is this? Yeah, they're saying, when you finish the cooking, tell me, right? So this addiction, it's not good. It doesn't mean you go and watch a video, come back, you do your thing. That's a good way. And then wearing garlands, maybe this might be jewelries. So this is another thing. Can we ask all the devotees, hey, today you can't wear anything, earrings, jewelries, bracelets, necklaces. I'm not asking like that. It's not practical. But I asked them, can you spend a day without these things, at least one day? What is the feeling you will be having? Can I be natural, the way how I used to be before? It doesn't mean that you are not wearing. You have to wear when you go for a party, other places. You have to look good, feel good. What is that? Mudita. That's the question somebody asked here, right? I have to be happy for myself in an ethical way. But today, trying to minimize, right? And perfumes, scents, perfumes. Can I spend a day without this? But what if someone has a natural body odor? I think this was a question asked, given to me in one of the retreats some time ago. Somebody complained to me. The complaint was that the one next to me, it looks very, fragrant. I think she should have not sprayed this perfume. Then I tell, just ignore this thing, this is your retreat. But then she kept complaining in a way. Then when we discovered, the person told us a very nice story. I normally share this. I have a body odor. So because I want to practice metta for everybody, I spray the perfume. Look, such a good person, right? It's not that I want to show other people I have a good fragrance, lavender or whatever. I don't want to disturb other people's meditation, other things. She has brought metta in real life, I told everybody, right? Understand, find out how to bring metta, not just sitting somewhere. And she was very concerned about all of us. And then that's how she did it. But today, you try not to do this. If I can take care of myself without spraying, I think you can. And cosmetics and adornments, the same. So this precept, once again, does not strictly prohibit people's, what you call, those aspects. Rather, it asks us, what if you spend a day without these things? What is the happiness? Are you happy without these things? Right? It doesn't mean that you must avoid all these things every day, no. But once in a while, what is the happiness of that? It's like, I think you become vegetarian on New Moon Day, right? Does it mean you become vegetarian for 365 days? Right? Time to time you think about, can I stay my day without these two? That is the 7th precept. Last one, Uchcha Sayana, Maha Sayana Vedamana. We are always looking for cozy comfort things, unless we have a medical condition. Right? Some people even want to bring the pillow to the hotel, you know. This hotel pillow is not good for me. They want to bring, because they are too addicted to their comforts. Can I live without these comforts sometime? Right? So that is the purpose of 8.1. So the purpose of the last 3 precepts are not very strict ones. They are 3 disciplinary rules to additionally discipline us. But the first 5, they are very serious ones. So it doesn't mean you can break the last 3 and then keep the first 5, but understand the nature. I think that answers, right? Yeah.
Okay, there are 2 questions related about mudita to upeka. So I just read one of them. Upon doing mudita, the mind develops to a state of upeka, equanimity. Do we continue in this state? If we switch to watching the breath, the mind then falls back to more gross volitional or conditioned state. Please advise.
Is it about mudita to upekha?
Yeah, 2 questions. Just read.
I don't think so. Mudita and upekha, I said they all work together. So that means whenever the conditions arise for us to be practicing upekha, then we practice upekha. Sometimes we practice mudita through upekha, karuna through upekha, metta through upekha. So not that finishing mudita, go to upekha as a sequence. Now say for instance, let's say I'm going to go through a very grief time in the future. Somebody's going to pass away. This is more towards upekha mind, because we are going to be sad about that passing away. So how to understand what happened to me in my life? My whole internal world collapsed. So how to understand? I have very much liking, attachment to my family people. And now I'm creating disliking for what happened to them. So that means I'm struggling between these polar ends. What do you call? Likes and dislike. On one side, my inherent attachment to loved ones. On the other hand, when loved ones are not with us in that way, then I'm creating a lot of domanassa, what do you call, conflicts. So how to get going now? Understanding the real nature of attachments one day. Understanding why I'm into conflicts without not accepting what happened. So I'm creating a mentality called upekha. That means understanding likings and dislikings, and then I can get going in my life. Most people will not be able to do it right away. So they need time. That's why we say time heals. But time heals you through understanding likes and dislikes. So then that means you don't go to upekha as an abstract stage of mind. Rather than you use the conditions that happen to you, circumstances that happen to you, to practice upekha. But first, metta, karuna, mudita, upekha, maybe the time you started this practice, long time ago. After that, what the kind of the Brahma Vihara that you are practicing depends on the circumstances, conditions. That's how it works. It's not that mudita, then you go to upekka, you don't come back. So whenever the conditions for different Brahma Viharas arise, you practice them. So what matters is not the Brahma Viharas at the end. Whether you understand this whole mental states without going into akusala. Finally, it's like not the meditation finally, but it's like not the meditator matters at the end. Someone who is going to think, I meditate for 2 days by the end of today. So I meditated for 2 days. Then what has happened is that you have developed your Sakkaya Ditthi in a good way. Sakkaya Ditthi can be developed in bad way and good way. So what I say is that the meditator becomes the meditation at the end of this retreat, even during the time. There's no meditator. That is the problem. Observation, what you call observer becomes the observation at the end of meditation. In that way, when we know what the Brahma Viharas are, as we practice depending on the conditions, circumstances, we can practice them. Finally, it's not the Brahma Viharas that are going to take effect. It's that we are really engaging in kusalas through the support of Brahma Viharas. Otherwise, you might say, I think I should check what Brahma Vihara I have now, right? So you are kind of creating a clinging to Brahma Viharas at that point. So Brahma Viharas are supportive tools for us to engage holistically in the kusala life. Kusala, akusala is the final thing.
So it's just a tool, and then we should let it go.
Definitely. We have to let go all these things finally. Otherwise, we are labeling. Right? Maybe in the last deathbed also you are thinking, what Brahma Vihara am I having now? Karuna? What, can I go to Mudita now? Can I go to Upekka? You are dying at that moment. So it's not Karuna, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka, tools. I understand they are tools, and through the support of these four, depending on the conditions, my main area is, can I engage in more kusalas, not akusalas? So that's the main area to think about.
Next question. When I meditate, most of the time my mind is calm. The thoughts is almost zero most of the time. No disturbance, no wholesome, no unwholesome. Very peaceful. What am I supposed to do?
Can you repeat again? When I meditate, I feel?
Okay, when I meditate, most of the time my mind is calm. The thoughts is zero. Most of the time, no disturbance, no wholesome, no unwholesome thoughts. Very peaceful. So what am I supposed to do?
The way how you describe, you must have been an arahant, you know. No wholesome, no unwholesome, arahant. So perhaps you have to check whether you are a real arahant or not. So interesting. But I ask you, check again. If any of them are really reflective about what you are saying. Exactly. But this explanation, an arahant explanation. Yeah. Punya papa pahinas. Arahants have gone beyond punya papa, kusala, kusala. So, yeah. Yeah.
So, Bhante, what is your answer? It's not my question.
Yeah, because I'm answering depending on the readings, right?
Yeah.
So the read up that you did just now is the nature of an arahant.
So it's
so
okay.
We don't know. This is the way how arahants look like in their way of thinking. Perhaps I think you have to check again. Is this the real nature that is happening in your mindset? Or another way to look at is that perhaps this can be upekka in a way, in some ways. But if you say no wholesome, no unwholesome means that's being an arahant. That's how arahants think. Arahants don't create kusala, kusala. But I think that what is happening is that you have no particular idea about kusala, kusala. You are simply watching what's happening. Yeah. But if you are still a putajjana, normal person, it's better to make sure that, because you say you are doing meditation, no kusala come to you. That means if you are not an arahant, you have to engage in kusalas, developing kusalas, alubha, dosa, moha, through any practices, brahmavihara or satipatthana or anusati.
The next one, dear Bhante, in one sutta, it says one should practice katanu to parents, gratitude.
Katanyuta.
Gratitude.
Katanyuta.
Yeah. So why mudita is not mentioned in this instance? How to differentiate mudita and katanu?
Yeah, there are two aspects. We did a meditation here about gratitude. Was it here? I think yes. I think we did it in June, last June. It's a retreat, 2-day retreat. So katanyuta is a gratitude. I think you know when you look at these two aspects, they are pretty different approaches. Gratitude means you are grateful for other people, and mudita means you are happy for other people, even they are not part of you. That happiness has not done anything to you. So when it comes to mudita, how to practice mudita for our parents without being grateful? So I think when it comes to parents, first we have to engage in gratitude. Second, when we are grateful, then we can have mudita for that. So in that particular example, gratitude first and then mudita. There are two approaches, two aspects of life. Now when I talk about mudita, don't think that it takes over all the other aspects. It is a specific aspect. It touches certain area of our life. Yeah.
There are 3 Donald Trump questions. So I'm just going to read one. Trump question. In the panel discussion, Donald Trump was mentioned. He arm-twisted Ukraine. He told Zelensky, blah, 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 blah. Similarly, he was telling the world leaders they did not have the cuts. It's very, very long. We have similar kind of characters like Donald Trump in the workplace, in the society, who derive their success by stabbing people on the back. Should we even want to practice mudita on these toxic people? I think similar to the first question, I guess.
Yeah, I think I answered that. That means I'm not going to describe about certain politicians. What you need to understand is that there are different people coming up time to time. It might be Pol Pot, it might be Idi Amin, it might be so-and-so people, it might be somebody from the Philippines. But the thing is that how to look at these people, if we know facts, then we have an idea, unethical things, unwholesome things. But the problem is that now the current situation in your question here is that this particular person's actions matter. Many people, the country is one of the powerful countries in the world, so tariff and all that. So for us, I again want to tell you, don't create hatred. That is one thing. Creating hatred is not good for you, right? You think that will be the justice for that person. It is not good for you. That's number one. Number two, you make a wish for your local politicians. May you be able to have wisdom to communicate, exchange in a healthy dialogue with this person. I mean, this is something else. And the third thing is, if nothing is going to work, this shall pass. Yeah. Anicca. Because nobody is going to be eternal in this world. So every time you see this, be careful whether you are creating a silent anger towards these people. It's not good for us because we are practicing Buddha's messages, right? So, I mean, yes. So that's how we are supposed to look at it.
Okay, this one is heavy. Bhante, you mentioned there are 10 types of anusati. The first one is satipatthana. Then the
No. First one is not satipatthana. Anusati is a different set.
Okay.
Yeah. Satipatthana is one other set. Brahmavihara another set. Anusati another set.
Okay, I just read the question. There are 10 types. Satipatthana, Brahmavihara, Buddhanusati, Dhammanusati, Sanghanusati, Devanusati, Chaganusati. Why Chaga? I mean, of all the virtues, why only Chaga is mentioned in the Anusati? What is the difference between Chaga and Dana?
Very interesting. I think we discussed that a long time ago. And not even Chaga, there's Sila also. Sila means that when you, at the end of today, when you look back your retreat, you are happy. You were a good person, you were a virtuous person than your normal days. So Sila also one of the Anusatis. But why not Dana Anusati? Why Chaga Anusati? That's a very good way to look at it. Why did the Buddha use the Pali word Chaga? Chaga means C, long A, G, A. Why Chaga? Why not Dana? What's the difference? The difference is, now Dana is not a, what do you call, it's not a, look at it in a very wise way, it's not always carrying a positive connotation. Why? Because the ulterior motive of different people who are engaging in dana all the time cannot be wholesome. Think about a politician going to allocate some funds into a certain area, thinking that I will get all the votes after I made the bridge, right? And bridge is also not going to construct it well finally, given to a very bad company without bidding. Then what happens? People see, what a good politician. We didn't get the bridge for many years, but this person was compassionate. But the politician's idea was not to give the bridge actually, right? It is a different thought. I want to get some votes from them. So that's why dana has both positive and negative connotations. But when you say chaga, it's only morally positive, wholesome connotations that go on. That means we have to change this activity. Are you doing that? No, I'm doing chaga, But it's not very formal. But in the suttas, it's formal. Let's say, I do chaga. What is chaga? Chaga means chajati. C-A-J-A-T-I. Dana deti. D-E-T-I. Deti. Deti means give. It can be wholesome, unwholesome. Are there unwholesome givings too? Are there? What are the, let me ask you, what are the unwholesome givings? Think about the politician example is one. What are the other ways people engage in unwholesome giving? Bribery also dana. Unwholesome dana. And then, what else? Yeah, that is also unwholesome. And then, but meritorious, Giving and expecting, it's a meritorious, but not wholesome. Chaga is wholesome and meritorious both. And what are the other ways of giving, doing dana in an unwholesome way? Unwholesome danas? Giving weapons. Giving expired food. Yeah, but the other person wants to get rid of this stale food, It's in the fridge. I want to get rid of stale food. So please. And I think there was a question somebody asked somewhere in a retreat. Say, I think her auntie is bringing all the stale food and then forcibly putting them inside my fridge. Say, you must eat good food, but expired. She taken out all the tags. If I don't eat, she's not happy. But the problem is, she's not going to give me. She just cannot let go of throwing them after they expire, right? So that's not a good dana, right? And then other forms of unwholesome dana are gambling. Mm-hmm. Yes.
What about cases of businessmen? They are unscrupulous, they make a lot of money, and they donate a lot to the temple or to the good cause.
There is a problem.
So,
if the money was earned through unethical ways, then that's why. For the temple people, it's a very good thing. It's a big donation for us. But the karma, finally what is happening is karma, right? So the karma wise, that person knows how he earned the money, she earned the money. So definitely it will affect his or her karma. If you say unethical money, someone's money. That was someone's money, maybe public money, maybe money that was used by exploiting, hurting, yeah. So that person knows that. Yeah, so there is a problem. Yeah.
So, but there's two sides to the coin, because he knows that he is doing illegal things. But let's say he's doing drugs, so it's illegal things, right? But on the other hand, he feels guilty that he's doing illegal things. And so he thought, if I, from this one shipment, I make X amount of money and I give away 10% or 20% of this money to a good cause, that should reduce my guilt.
I don't think so. Perhaps it's to evade the tax. It's to evade the tax.
No.
He
He told me, because I was doing a lot of these charity funds and all that, he told me that it helps him to reduce his mentality. So I, being the middleman, has got a very difficult task to accept or not accept. Knowing that it's illegal money, I'd rather not accept. So I send him direct to the office.
Well, I mean, we are talking about a secondary situation. Somebody has done a wrong thing. Now money has been accumulated. Now what to do with the money? Now going forward. But the best thing is that it's better to give back the money that you earn to the right person. That is the best thing. But there are other things like what you are mentioning. So I can speak for karma. The good karma, bad karma that I learned. So good karma, bad karma always go by the source of the money. And you cannot just make yourself happy just by donating 20% of that bad money to a charity. The monks, temples don't know how this person earned the money. But karma-wise, karma is not decided by that person. Karma is done by that person. The good karma, bad karma decided by karma itself. So then we have to understand how does karma get mature. So you may just manage the situation that way, but karma-wise, the story is a different thing.
Yeah, but I mean, karma is created by his intention. So in this case, he's got two intentions. One intention, he cheat. The other intention is that he wants to give it away, to help.
When you make a mistake in your life, you can't do many mistakes to cover it. Say one lie and you make another 999 lies to cover that truth. So I think now say for instance, this keeps going. I think there's no end for this person. Better truly acknowledge the problem and then do something else. Because then I think what that person is doing is what some people who are having black money and then going to some other countries, they want to purify that black money. They are starting big projects. And then finally, for other people who have some eyes, they feel, these are white elephant projects. No people coming and buying these apartments. Why are they building? Because they want to bring that money to the country's economic flow, right? And there are other problems. When they are bringing those black money into those countries, normal people cannot afford buying a house because all the housing network will have a boom after that. So there are a lot of problems happening with that. So I think now as a go-between, you may have to go through that situation in a better way, but karma-wise, the story is different. So I don't think you can do that because you are go-between. But we talk about karma. It's better to, it's better not to distribute that money. It's illegal money. It's unethical money. Yeah. Otherwise, we all can do illegal business and do charity for temples. Why not? Is it going to work? Illegal money is easy to do, right? We can make overnight. And we all go to temples because temples have to build their projects. I think it's going to be a problem. So that's why this ethical earning is very important. I don't know how many Dhamma speakers they are emphasizing this part. They have to emphasize because in Dana activity, it's clearly said, Dhammena laddang. So Dhammena laddang must have earned money through Dharma. Dharma means engaging in a good job, good work. Good work is not earning a lot of money, maybe, and then not hurting other people, not commissioning, bribing, cheating, swindling other people. So anyways, coming back to our chaga thing. So dana, it's a word that can be used for both wholesome and unwholesome perspectives. But there are people who are giving dana in a wholesome way. But chaga, when you say chaga Pali word, it is exclusively for giving without, you are chajati, you are overcoming, abandoning lobha, dosa, moha. That is what should happen. Right? When you give dana, I have no lobha towards the food I bought from the grocery shop. I'm happy. It's one of the moments for mudita also, right? I'm happy for this expenditure. Have you ever felt after giving a dana, money, I spent a lot of money for this, That will makes your good karma to zero in one moment. Do it. You do a very big dana, think that one thought, you goes down to zero in a moment of time because you're creating lobha with that. That's why the true dana has to go to chaga. Then you are not even counting it. I'm happy. A temple may have to count it. When they do a Katna ceremony, Vesak ceremony, they have to have a income and expenses chart for that because for their accountability. But for us, we look in that way. And no hatred. I have metta for anyone. Whoever the monk come in, I want to offer. That's no problem. I have no specific thing. And I have a good understanding about karma and vipaka. These three things. If you don't have them, lobha, dosa, moha. So when you overcome them and do the dana, it's a chaga. So dana chaga. So then when it comes to anusati, let's say there is someone who is doing chaga, at the end of the day, she or he can think about, how did I give chaga today? So I did it very well, purifying my lobha, dosa, moha. That itself will become meditation. Anusati meditation. That's how I explain.
So Bhante, there are 10 Anusati. Buddha, Deva, Dhamma, Sangha, Deva, Jaga, that's 5. Then what's the other 5?
Sila Nusati.
Sila.
Then Devata Nusati, I think you said that. Then Marana Nusati, I think is one of them. Marana. Contemplating about the Marana Sati. And then I think Upasama Nusati, composure, peace. Think about your peace you had today, maybe yesterday. You are thinking by night, how peaceful was I? Yeah. So there are 10. I think the list has 10 now, right? If not, we can give you later.
Okay.
There.
As a Sunday Dhamma school teacher, what are the ways we can teach mudita to young children and teenagers? Second question, as a parent, how we can teach the value of mudita to our children towards others, meaning towards their friends and siblings?
Teaching in a Dhamma school is a challenging thing in today's world. If you really engage with the students, if you go and tell the theory and go back, it's okay. But students have why questions. Why are you talking like that? Can you give us examples? Right? Then you get stuck. Hey, you can't talk like this. I'm a teacher. I'm here. You are here. But this kind of thinking might not help them engage in the discussion. It's a big problem. That's why we need Dhamma school teacher training now first. We have to train them in one place, right? Because a lot of teachers, they teach with what they heard in their 80s, 90s, early 2000s. That's a little bit outdated knowledge now. Because a lot of things have come to us now. So how to teach mudita? Actually, one of the extremely vulnerable groups with regard to jealousy is our teenagers and young ones. They even take their life. You can even manage yourself. Crying a little bit and you can manage it. But young ones, they cannot. They cannot take that pressure. So they even take life. They can't take it because their world is very small. That was started from the digital world. They were born in that time. So teachers can think about some examples where they can be envious and jealous. Are young ones into social media more than you? Yes, so they are the ones who see these things all the time. So they can teach, focus on themselves is one thing, and trying to appreciate what others have, and then making sure that they have their own life. So using different examples, especially they might be wondering about career, especially they are more into thinking about money, how to get a good job with lots of money, and how to do it, ethical money. Talk about ethical money. But nowadays jobs are very, messy structured. It's very difficult to find out 100% ethical job in today's world because there are lots of bureaucracy, hierarchy. Unless you have your own business, still you are going through certain challenges with that. You have to work through government and people. So teaching them how to engage in an ethical job and how to look at happiness not being influenced by what other people post, with some general examples, and find out one's own way. So these are the things that teachers can think about with some practical examples. That's one thing. Second, you are asking parents, how parents are to teach mudita. I think we discussed that yesterday. Parents have to be role models. Not that they are going to tell, do this and do that. I learned mudita today from the retreat, and you are going to have a big conversation with your daughter tomorrow. We have to do mudita. Okay? But you don't have mudita yourself. Why you putting that on me, right? So then you change yourself. How you change yourself? You show your daughter your change life, change behavior. I like to accept my family. The daughter might say, Mom, you didn't accept your aunties before. Now, it seems you are accepting, and that affects me. So, being a change agent in that mudita experience, you can change. Not that don't become teachers to your kids without being that person. And you show that you are you can tolerate your family people, other people. So your children are imitating. They are great imitators, right? They look at you. They are observing what you are doing. So it's very simple. So you cannot do just with a serious talk. They will listen to you. They will go against you, right? That's the nature of them. So it's better to show the real change from your life depending on these qualities.
Next question. As a Buddhist, am I not supposed to feel angry or upset? If I feel angry or upset, am I not considered as a Buddhist?
I think the way how you read the answer has the question as answers. Well, I think being angry is a normal phenomenon, right? Don't be upset for that. It's very normal. But the thing is that I ask people to think about, why am I getting angry? Is there another way to tackle this? Is there another way to manage this problem? Let's say something happening that you don't like. Can I deal with it not being angry? Is there another way to tackle this? I think there are many ways. That's why we need wisdom, panya. How to get to that panya? Sila, samadhi. Through sila, through samadhi, we go to the panya. So then when I have the panya, I deal with people, situations, circumstances, conditions way better than I used to deal with. 10 years ago, even someone in my house used to say something small, maybe a bad compliment about me, I got very easily upset and angry. But now when I understand, I have to understand, tolerate people, and anger is not the solution, then I will respond differently. So I think anger is common, right? But you could have used another way to respond to the moments which made you become angry in the past. right? The problem is, another problem is, when people become angry, they don't know that they are angry. That is another big issue. Remember the story that happened during the Buddha's time? There was a female deva, Rukka Deva actually, tree spirits. She was living with her newly born son. And then one monk came. At that time, I think not many devotees supported monks in that way, only particular monks. So he wanted to cut the tree, make a kuti for him. So normally, when a monk is going to do that, he has to do a certain metta towards any beings in that, non-human beings in that tree. He didn't do that. He started cutting. It was almost going to cut the female deva's and the son's, newly born son's hand. She became very angry. How come you are doing this even for your kuti? Why are you cutting our place? She was thinking, I want to hit him, right? And then, but I stop it. I don't want to do it, Sangha member. I want to go see the Buddha. And then told the Buddha, one of your monks cut in my tree. I had lots of anger, even to hit, but I managed my anger. I came to tell you. Then the Buddha said as Gata, Pali Gata in the Dhammapada. Yo ve uppatitang kodang ratang bantang vadare tamahang sarating brumi rasmiggaho itarojano. If there is someone who has uprising anger, now the anger has arisen already, but the person does not materialize the anger, that is the best way to manage anger. It's like someone who is driving a horse carriage in a very fast speed. Suddenly, the horse chariot understands he has to stop. How to stop? Only a good, experienced horse chariot only know how to stop it. It's the same thing when you are driving on highway. You can drive very fast anytime, right? But how many people can stop in time? That's the talent, right? In the proper way, without giving butterflies to the people who is in the car, right? That you are a bad driver, you driving in a way that we feel so much shaken in the car, right? A good driver only stops without even feeling that we are stopping the car, right? The Buddha said, anger is normal, but if you can think about different ways to combat it, that's a good way. If the anger is arisen, if you know that you have anger, that is the best. So, the Buddha said that anger is a normal phenomenon, but try to manage it right away. I remember there was when I was the principal in the Dhamma school, 2016 in Vancouver. There was I had to handle some cases, you know. One was that we invited one professor who had 2 double PhD, and he was willing to teach in the Dhamma school. Said, okay, no problem. But this person was teaching anger management for the whole time, for the whole semester. I said, maybe he might have a lot of information to share with the students. He's teaching the advanced class. So one day, when he was coming to the class, the students were chatting, today also anger management, anger management. So he overheard this thing, and then he was very unhappy. He exploded. He blamed everybody, and he stopped, I'm going to leave. And then, so this was alerted to me at the end of the day, and then I had to intervene. Then I contacted the student that he is saying that laugh at him. Then the student told me, yes, I know that what we did was wrong. We shouldn't have laugh. But he couldn't have been mad at us because he was teaching us anger management for 4 months, you know. Right? So what we understand in this story was that it has to be the practice. It's not a teaching. Everybody can teach anger management, right? So being angry is a normal phenomenon, but if you know how to manage your situations, you would not be that much angry. In case you become angry, don't worry, just calm down, take a couple of deep breaths, and then manage it. Don't hurry, don't rush to go to the full version of your anger. So that's what I can say. I think he's asking, am I still a Buddhist? Yeah, you are a Buddhist. But once you respond to things with anger, you're going to be un-Buddhist. Yes.
Okay, next question. Bhante mentioned Diti arises from Loba. Isa is from hatred. What about Moha? What arises from Moha?
Moha is the, what you call, master akusala.
Master.
It's the master akusala. Lobha dosa arises from moha. Moha arises from avijja. So avijja is our problem that we are in samsara. And in each life, we have the avijja version. What is that avijja version? Moha. So when I'm reborn already, I have the moha. Moha directly reports to avijja. So from moha, lobha dosa arise. Then when I die, I'm carried to the next life by avijja again. Then again I'm having moha. Then lobha dosa arise. Make sense? How many more questions are there? We can open the floor after. Perhaps 3?
We have done 16, but we have 5 more.
Okay, yeah, go.
Yeah, I don't know which one to read. They are all long. Okay, never mind this one. Bhante, can you describe the 4 satipatthanas?
Well, it's a very long thing to describe, but what I can say is that 4 satipatthanas are Kaya, Vedana, Chitta, Dhamma. Actually, there will be a book which will be published by BMSM under my name, probably in the near future. And then this book is what is wrong mindfulness. So in that book, I have clearly stated what is right mindfulness, wrong mindfulness. So then, right mindfulness is when you practice any of the satipatthanas, thinking that you are practicing satipatthanas for the purpose of creating a lot of kusalas and then going to the samadhi. So if you are concerned about what satipatthana I should practice, I would advise you pick one exercise from the first satipatthana, kayanupassana, maybe breath meditation, or you can do a posture meditation like walking meditation. So then what happens, that even one satipatthana is enough to attain nibbana. But there are people who can directly go to Vedana-anupassana, feelings, and Chitta-anupassana. They may do so, because there are different people. There are some people who are very rationalized in their own perspectives. Some people are more towards physical part, right? Depending on your interests, I think you have to meet a teacher for that. The teacher will assess you. Teacher will give you what exercise in what satipatthana will be workable for you. So even any satipatthana does.
Sorry, what book was it, Bhante?
No, it's coming up. So what is wrong mindfulness? Yeah.
Next question. May I know how to help dogs and cats and even stray to take them to higher rebirth, besides helping them take refuge in the triple gem and send 4 Brahma Viharas to them?
Okay, animals. So as Buddhists, we should have a lot of compassion to everyone, especially for animals, because they can't talk in our way. So we can only wish, may you have a human rebirth, comfortable, convenient human rebirth in next life. So that's the only wish we can make for them. And I will take care of you. There are some people who are saying, what you cannot do is you cannot talk. You are very loyal to me. You are doing everything to me. But I wish, may you be reborn as a good human in next life. And may the good karmas I'm doing, even by supporting you, saving you, adopting you, will also go to you. So you can give good karmas to their next life. So I think that giving is also part of Brahma Vihara, as mudita and metta karuna.
Next one, quite long. Dear Bhante, my child plays competitive sports. I'm able to practice metta to all the fellow competitors and karuna to the competitors who were crying because they did not make it. But I struggle to practice mudita because the children went against my child by a fraction of a second in swimming. Please advise step by step how I can start or attempt to practice mudita.
Can you repeat again the question?
So she says that she can practice metta and karuna to the competitor of her children
Okay.
in sports, but she cannot practice mudita to the competitor who won against her child by just a fraction of a second in swimming. So
Yeah, okay. I think when there is a competition and when your child is involved in that competition, you may have a preference for your child, but you have preference over his or her winning. But it should not disturb you, prevent you from having mudita. Because what if your child is not going to win? Are you going to accept somebody else's victory? We should be able. That's why the Buddha said in Dhammapada, Jayang Verang Pasavati Dukkhang Seti Parajito Upasantu Sukhan Seti Hitva Jaya Parajayang. Jaya means victory. Parajaya means defeat. So then Jayang Veram Pasavati, the one who is winning creates enormous hatred towards the defeated one. It happens, in some places they even go to beat. You guys are defeated by us. You have to be molested, even by thoughts. And then Jayang Veram Pasavati Dukkhang Seti Parajito, the one who was defeated, going through lots of sadness. Why did I lose to this person? But we understand Jaya Parajaya, winning and losing, they are two sides of the coin. Think about a gambler. Today winning a lot and tomorrow going down to the zero, right? So the Buddhist advice is, even though we engage in these activities, which some people have to engage, our deep idea towards, our deep ditti that we have to cultivate is somewhere which transcends Jaya Parajaya. Hitva Jaya Parajayang. That is happiness. But when your child is involved, yes, my child has rehearsed well, done well, prepared well. If he wins, it's good. I have sacrificed myself. But if he doesn't win, I will encourage my child again and I accept. I think more than that you are going to be happy for other children, what you have to think is that maybe encourage your child to do a better job next time. At the same time, accept what happened. I think the moment you accept a lot of things in your life, you are happy. You fast track your happiness. A lot of happinesses that are not coming to us because we don't accept them. Sometimes it's a 20-year case, like a court case, we don't accept what happened. Still we are unhappy every time we think about it. So I think the better way is to, you may not cheer up for them, you may not applaud sometime, but if the irony is going to be changed, I or you should be able to accept it. Yes, that's for their happiness. They did a good job. Maybe my child didn't. My child, I will encourage him or her again and again. So then you are becoming a Buddhist in celebrating that victory or the defeat. Otherwise, before you go to the competition, you were a Buddhist. At the end, you became an un-Buddhist. I mean, that's not a good thing, right? Why I am changing with my dynamics of emotions? Yeah.
Okay, this one is a meditation question. I think second last one. Sometimes we see a small light with our mind's eye when meditating. What should we do?
Okay, now I think we discussed that in our previous retreats. When you practice breath meditation, there are 4 stages you'll be going through. There are 4 stages. What are they? The first stage that you will go through perhaps right away, maybe during the time, is that you will get to see wrong indications as a success of your breath meditation. What are they? A rock, a light, floating, colors, and many other things. Why is it? You haven't been concentrating your mind for some time by that time. Suddenly you concentrate, certain flashbacks are coming up. But the problem here is that a lot of people think, I think I'm getting enlightened now. Lights coming to me. Maybe Deva, right? Lights coming to me. And then it's not. It's a flashback of your mind. That mind feels happy in a way that you are concentrating, and then these things are coming up. So when these things are coming up, don't addict to them, don't focus them, something is happening. A progression has been happening. I go back to my basic instructions. Watching breath for these 3 moments. And then what happens? Then you are going to the second progressive level, if you are successful enough. That is breathless stage. Right? Because some people are saying, I even feel I don't breathe anymore. Does it mean that the person has stopped the breath? No. The breaths have been super calm, have been refined. So then the person doesn't feel I'm breathing. Now, in our normal life, do you feel breathing? Yes. Like normally when you feel breath, when you are tired a little bit, maybe when you are into a lot of akusala, think about before you eat something, so much, so much desire to eat this food and then be with somebody, so much, you feel that your breath's happening, not in that nice way, refined way. So when your breath meditation progresses to the second layer after if you are successful enough to not to fall prey to that level, you go to the next level. Now I feel my raw breath has been refined. Then, if you are further successful, you are going to the third stage. That means you feel that, you can say thoughtless stage, but what is happening is that you are not even having that many thoughts compared to the time you didn't practice meditation. A lot of thoughts are coming now. Even not many thoughts are coming to me. It's not that I am psychologically dysfunctional. My psychology, my cognition is working very, very well. But not many thoughts are coming to me. I feel that my thoughts are pretty manageable now. I can pick up kusala, I can just drop akusala very fast. Is that a good one? That should be a very good state of mind. But now I can't even figure out kusala coming up. Kusala is dropped by akusala, akusala is taking over. It's an internal war. At that time, in your meditation, you feel even the thoughts are coming less, not that many. And more importantly, I can manage my kusala. I can balance out, I can choose. And then if you are further successful, you are coming down to a very interesting stage. We call it contemplation stage. You can see in the Girimananda Sutta, you can see in the Anapanasati Sutta, where Buddha says, Aniccanupassī viharati. Yesterday we chanted, Viraganupassī viharati, Nirodhanupassī viharati, Patinissagganupassī viharati. What is that? That means when your breath meditation has come down to thoughtless stage, the perfect time, the perfect opportunity for you to pick up one of the contemplations. Say for instance, you pick up anicca. You think about a personal moment that you went through anicca, truly, really hitting yourself very much. And you think about how things got changed. How did I accept the change? How did I see changes? How did I change myself onto the changes? How did changes happen? How did I change onto the changes? Aniccanupassī is happening. And that is the place where you are heading to enlightenment. That's what we see. So I think the person was asking the first stage without knowing. I think the person might think, I instantly get to the lights and all that. That is a good remark, but don't cling to that. Just keep practicing the original instructions. Once again, going through wrong indications. Number 1, stage. Number 2, breathless stage. Number 3, thoughtless stage. Number 4, contemplation stage. This is given by the Buddha in the Anapanasati Sutta, under Anapanasati, and Girimananda Sutta as well.
Okay, the last one is not a question, it's just a comment.
Mm-hmm.
In retreat, we practice noble silence, but unmindfully participants love to talk and disturb others. Perhaps a 10 ringgit fine will be good to increase the temple fund.
What's the last part?
Perhaps a 10 ringgit fine will be good to increase the temple fund.
Well, you know, everyone is different. Everyone has different temperaments, characteristics. So we urge, that's why I always say keep the noble silence. But there may be some individuals. I think we ask everyone to keep to the noble silence. But we are not going to individuals and, hey, stop talking, you know. That will create another akusala experience for that person. We are not, I have never done that actually. But I normally encourage everyone, respect where you are. Try to engage in noble silence. It might be a little challenging to you. That's why you came here, right? Right? So try to practice it. That is a personal quality that you need to cultivate. Other than that, there is nothing I can say about that. So you have to maintain yourself, discipline yourself. I think questions are done over here, right?
Yeah, we have 20
All right,
minutes.
so we are opening the floor now. If anybody has questions, I think Sophia or volunteers will bring the mic to you. So we have perhaps 15 minutes for any questions. Okay, next is, yeah. There's a question in the back. Is the mic working?
So, thank you. Good morning, Bhante and everyone. My question is that maybe my knowledge of meditation is quite low. Regarding the mudita meditation, earlier you were guiding us from the first stage, that means is sending mudita to the person who your loved ones or anyone that you feel love, whatever it is. Second is to someone neutral. And then the third one to a person is much challenging. Now, after that, how do we progress on? Do we still doing that on the 3 stages, or we just focus on our breath?
Thank you for complimenting our dialogue. Very interesting question. Now, let's say you do mudita meditation. Now, you did it today, 9 to 9:30, and then again doing 1 to 1:20. What is happening after? That's why I told you this mudita meditation then will become an attitude. After this, it will become an attitude. So when it becomes a regular meditation, you are going from, we add oneself, loved ones, neutral ones, challenged ones, all living beings. But we cannot do that all the time. We have to work, we have to go, we have to move, we have to interact. Then, that is the bigger opportunity, the biggest opportunity where we are going to bring mudita as an attitude. How to practice mudita at that point? During the meditation, 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes, yes, sequence. One by one, you are doing it. So maybe, let's say you did in the instructions, you going back, you starting over, going back, starting over. But after the meditation, whenever the conditions arise, you make it as a mudita. After today, by the end of today, you are hearing one of your nieces going to achieve something. Mudita. Their achievement, then my mudita. Right? Their achievement, my mudita. And you hear something good about somebody. Their achievement, my mudita. So every time you make all these successful conditions into a mudita. Earlier it was not like that. Their achievement, my issa. My jealousy, my envy. Now, their achievement, your work, my happiness. Right? I am happy that you are happy. So that is coming to us. So in the meditation, yes, as a sequence. After the meditation, it will become an attitude. And if you are further concerned about, after you looked at these groups, then you starting over during the meditation. Yeah. And then she's going to ask, yeah. Please use the mic.
Bhante. Bhante, just because on the issue of Trump and the difficulty we have mudita and all that, perhaps we can go back even to the Buddha's time. Ajata Satu actually killed his own father, but at the end of the day, he hosted the first Buddhist council. At the same time, we have Asoka. It is believed that he killed 99 brothers to get to the throne. At the end of the day, he became a great king and was able to do a lot for Buddhism. So maybe Bhante, maybe we as Buddhists can take on a more matured view of the world, that, you know, it's not all black and white. It's not that easy and so simplistic. Perhaps the good and bad is the training that we get from perhaps the Abrahamic religions, that we come to see things as black and white. Maybe Buddhists must start seeing things in gray, and we just guard our own mind. So we look after our akusala mind, and maybe stop. It's difficult to I think we see Trump, we are actually judging what he does is good or bad. We do not know. Maybe the eventual result is that he frees the world from the tyranny of USA. We don't know that. So perhaps he is actually playing an important role. Yeah. So maybe Bhante can just clarify a bit on that.
Yeah. So going back to your point, black and white thinking is not Buddhist thinking. We have to understand that there is a gray area of everything, right? So we normally, when we follow a certain religion philosophy, they are always asking us to believe black part and white part. If they are not going to work, I mean, before this particular person, what was going on was political correctness. The political correctness was what we were enjoying from many other people. Now, if you go back to similar examples, maybe more terrible examples, King Ajatasattu, he killed his father, and then many other things happened. And then finally, he, by understanding his own faults, he was supporting the Buddha's, senior disciples, Arhan Mahakashyapa, to host a Sanghayana. Think about King Ashoka. He's not King Ashoka, he's an emperor. He wanted, there were two emperors in Indian history. One is Ashoka, the other one is Harsha in the 6th century. So they wanted to invade as many places as they could. Harsha was not a Buddhist king, he was a little bit Mahayana, but Ashoka's story, we understand he killed more than 100,000 people in his, imperial ideas, and he wounded more than 100,000 people. But then, through looking at a monk, very small monk, 7 years old monk called Nigroda, he was very happy. I can't even sleep. I killed many people. I wounded. These memories are coming back to me, the post-war situations. So then, what did the small little monk say? He asked, "Can you bring him here?" So he came to the palace, and then the emperor asked, "Sit anywhere you want." Then he sat on the throne. See? Then somebody might be asking what thought little monk Nigroda had to sit on that throne? Because I'm talking the Dhamma. I had to be in a higher place. Because not to respect me, respect the Dhamma. I'm talking the Dhamma. That's why I have to sit on the throne. He said a very short stanza. The first stanza in the Dhammapada's 2nd chapter. Appamadu amata padang. Pamadu machuno padang. Appamatta nami yanti ye pamatta yatamata. So this was the advice he gave to King Ashoka, which changed everything, the opposite. The king understood Buddhism in that perspective. He said, Appamadu amata padang. If someone is diligent in one's life, punctual spiritually, that person will never die. Look at the Buddha. He passed away a long time ago. He's still living with us. Pamadu machuno padang. Those who have late in their spiritual life, even they are living, they are like dead people. Right? They are dead people. Appamatta nami yanti ye pamatta. Then he was concerned about, what are you talking? I mean, I'm still living. I think I'm negligent in my life. I have pamada a lot. How to proceed? Then he approached Moggali Putatissa, Arhan Moggali Putatissa monk, and then he did the third Sangayana, and he sent Buddhism to Sri Lanka, Tambapani, and he sent Buddhism to Suvarnabhumi, this whole Malayan peninsula. So, due to the efforts of somebody who gone wrong, he could understand Buddhism. So there are stories like that. So as you are asking, let's look at what is happening, going beyond the black and white picture, but not accepting what this person is doing. We don't have to accept him. Actually, we have gone through more terrible examples than this person. They were really, affecting us. So, yes, I mean, looking at these stories, we could really understand to create more patience and tolerance about these situations, our life. Okay, I think we can take one more question, and then we will go for the lunch thing. Yes, please.
Good morning to you, Bhante, and thank you for your teaching. And good morning to all the yogis. I would just like to address my observation.
Can I see where you are? Oh, okay. I was looking at where you were. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I would like to address my observations on how reactive people towards the tariff, because I feel that some of the yogis have not gone in depth into the reason why Trump's execute the tariff, because there is a really U.S. fiat currency is in a really dire positions where the deficit is very high. They are printing $1 trillion every 100 days. So the deficit is very high. In order to overcome this situations, Trump needs to increase tariff to reduce the spending of the government, to bring the industry back to the state. Because the inflation is very high. We haven't seen anything yet. They are trying to address this issue.
Yeah, Thank you for telling us an economical explanation about this whole thing. Yes, I mean, they have their own version. So, I mean, yeah. So, we will understand that. Yes. I think we will keep to one more question. Yes, Preta, you have a question? Yeah, we will finish with that.
Hi, Bhante. I'd like to ask, how do the suttas define success, especially given the context of our mudita meditation? Because there's one section you've given us where success does not diminish us in any way, but sometimes, not for all people, but some people say if they experience some spiritual success, perhaps they lose some sort of balance and they end up neglecting their family, and then the spouse has much more burden. Or say in the case of material success, even if the money comes from an ethical profession, that money might be used to, let's say, eat even more meat if you're a non-vegetarian, or buy good wine, or maybe you have the money to fly elsewhere and engage in extramarital relations, or all these kind of like situations. So bringing it back to the sutta, how were we meant to understand success? Thank you.
Thank you for bringing all the whys into a tiny question. I mean, it's so marvelous and interesting, I hope that many of you are aware about these situations. So, well, let me put it in this way. Buddhism accepts material success. That is important. Poverty is a suffering. Dalidyam bhikkhave dukkham. Then if somebody is suffering through poverty, Buddhism asks, hey, you can become a rich person. Buddhism is pro for that rich mentality. But if you think that you cannot make it, we are compassionate for you. Other people, we all have to support you in whatever the way. Let's say in your examples, someone is rich, material rich, spiritually also kind of doing certain activities, but then not being able to find out the balance, engaging in unethical actions, extramarital affairs, maybe exploiting and all that. So that means the person cannot understand, he or she has come to the point that I cannot understand my own success. I'm kind of driven by my success. And in short, I could say, I have become the victim of my success. I have been victimized by my own success. So that means upekka part has not approached her. She or he has not been able to practice upekka also at the same time. So while there are two aspects. One is we all have to be successful in our own life, depending on, for you, lay people's happiness. I think we are discussing that in our Mandi Sutta discussions, talking about wealth, life, affection, relationship and all that. That is something that you all have to continue. But be careful. There are certain areas where you should not addict, where you should not cling to them. Attachment is internal. It is normal. Everybody is having attachment. But the problem is clinging, upadana, and then tanha, and then lobha. So on the other hand, when you are meditating, when you are engaging in temple activities, practicing meditation, be careful. Would this bring me another level of sakkaya ditthi? Or I can only stay to a meditation. By the end of the day, I even let go of my meditation. I just let it go. I did it, I let it go. I don't want to carry it like I am the best meditator, I meditated for 48 hours and all that. That's another problem with our, because that meditation did not align with Sakkaya Ditthi perspective, right? So the key is the balance and then understanding the ethical parameters of our ethical activities. I think these things will help them to understand. Finally, if there are such people who cannot understand this, that means they have not been able to differentiate where to stop certain comforts in their life. So they can understand, they have to do a certain review about their life and then to get back to this balanced life. All right, so with that, I would like to say thank you for all the questions that you put forward. And I think we learn a lot from each other. Dhamma is not always a one-way learning that I know Dhamma, I teach you and you learn, you go back home. No, we are learning from each other. Maybe the brunt of Dhamma teaching comes from me, but we are learning together, happy learning together. So finally what I can say, because this will be the last sharing activity and then we only have a meditation part and retreat comments. What I encourage is that do not limit what you learn today just for the retreat. Bring this home, plant it. Look at the conditions, circumstances where you can practice this mudita teaching, and that will be the way that you will bring this to the practice. So with all that, we will make a wish. May all the good karmas we've been making today through the Q&A and all the other activities be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Also anumodana to Sister Gan for with a lot of hardships reading the questions and putting them in briefcase. Thank you everybody. Now we are going to get ready for the lunch dana. So please rise and go outside, grab your bento box and then slowly walk away, mindfully walk away, and we will start the dana after that.